2 years ago, 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse shot 3 young men in self-defense as he was threatened and attacked by rioters. While most Americans know who Rittenhouse is and saw the video of his acquittal, not nearly as many people actually know what transpired on August 25, 2020, due to a combination of lies by the mainstream media and personal unwillingness to look into the facts. The night before the incident, a mob of rioters burned businesses to the ground in Kenosha, Wisconsin, in response to the shooting of a black man, Jacob Blake, by a police officer. Kenosha police did nothing to stop the riots. Kyle Rittenhouse, who worked in Kenosha, was asked by the owner of a car lot to help him by standing guard over the lot. The fact that the owner asked a 17-year-old for help shows how bad things were. Another nearby car lot had already been completely burned down. While he stood there, rioters threatened Kyle's life, both verbally and physically, and he defended himself against 3 men with extensive criminal records by shooting them, 2 fatally. If you haven't watched the video footage, watch it. It speaks for itself. Kyle then attempted to turn himself into the police, and they pepper sprayed him. He had to drive across state lines into Illinois to turn himself in, as he was persistent on doing the right thing. He then spent 12 weeks in jail, while his corrupt lawyers raised money on his behalf and then used it for their own benefit. They raised over $1 million in the first 2 weeks, and Kyle could have been bailed out shortly thereafter. But due to political pressure, his lawyers kept him in jail. For a whole year, from his release from jail until his acquittal, Kyle didn't know whether he'd ultimately spend up to life in prison for merely defending himself or be a free man. During his trial, the prosecutors hid evidence by providing the defense with a very decompressed version of a drone video taken when the FBI illegally surveilled the incident. Since the defense must legally be provided with the same evidence as the prosecution, this would have been grounds for mistrial. After Kyle understandably broke down on the stand, leftists ran their mouth on Twitter, accusing him of putting on an act to sway the jury. LeBron posted a viral tweet suggesting that Kyle ate some lemon heads before walking into court. Those in the media who wanted to destroy the life of a working-class kid are among the wealthiest and most privileged class of people in America. Ironically, across the general population, those who support these celebrities and wanted to see Kyle rot are the people most likely to share posts that appear to criticize wealthy Americans, shared from pages such as the other 98%, just throwing that out there. The mainstream media told lie after lie about Kyle and the incident from the very beginning. They claimed that the victims were black. In reality, all 3 men were white. It was upon this lie that the press made the whole narrative about race. Among many other celebrities and politicians, Joe Biden, still a presidential candidate at the time, immediately labeled Kyle a white supremacist without looking at the facts. These are grounds for a lawsuit, as Kyle was slandered and defamed by the future president. In an interview with Fox News' Tucker Carlson after the acquittal, Kyle stated that he wasn't very political, but expressed support for the Black Lives Matter movement, as he felt there needed to be change. This came right out of the mouth of a kid who was reported to be a white supremacist. The press also falsely claimed that he was in a militia, which he was not, and that he had crossed state lines with a firearm, which is also untrue. Countless people simply believed these lies instead of looking at the facts and watching the video footage, which was available almost immediately after the incident. Kyle has proven himself to be a resilient and selfless person in the trial's aftermath. He's made it clear that he recognizes it wasn't he himself who was on trial, but rather the right to self-defense, and that he's grateful that the jury came to the right verdict so that other people can defend themselves against attackers. Many people on the left attempted to bully Kyle over the emotion he showed during the trial and verdict. Earlier this year, he posted a video about high gas prices, in which he both made fun of his own breakdown and trolled LeBron in the same post. Consistent with his quick, precise actions on that night in 2020, he's more recently proven himself to be the exact opposite of what the left had hoped for. It might sound like I'm going on and on here, but it's necessary to paint the full picture of the series of events and Kyle's character to show how incredibly dishonest and corrupt the press and the political establishment are.